Welcome to the Perimeter and Area program. This is a little video to show you how to use the program. And here we're being asked to find the perimeter of a rectangle. Okay, so here's your rectangle, and notice it's not, it's kind of turned on an angle. Okay, so you're always going to get it turned on a slight angle. So I want you to get used to the idea of, that there's no one correct way or proper way of looking at a rectangle or a triangle or any of these shapes. So the first thing I do, I want to rotate it so it's easier for me to visualize or to understand it. So this is the rotating button. You click on the rotating button, and then you can rotate it any direction you like. Okay. Now you see there's a little tiny point here. That's your point of, well, it's like your origin, right? It's like that's the point we're rotating about. Now if I turn that off, I can then just drag the shape anywhere I want. If I put, the that little dot in the center of the shape, and then rotate it, rotates about that shape, about that little dot. Okay, so that's the rotating button. And then if I wanted to stretch the shape, make it bigger, I click on the dilating button, the little stretching button, and then I just make sure if I want it to get bigger, I'm gonna drag the shape away from that point. Okay, and it gets bigger. If I want it to get smaller, drag it towards the point. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Okay, if I want to just to translate it, if I want to move it left and right, I can click on it and just drag it wherever I want, or I can use the arrows on the keyboard, or I can use these arrows down here. Okay, so if you're using the iPad, you can use these arrows. Okay, so all of these keys are just, if you're using the iPad and you want to, if you want to write decimeters, okay, so DM like that, and if you want to write decimeters squared, they're squared. Okay, and if you want to delete something, you can hit the delete button. And if you want to move stuff, there you go. Okay, so you have all these buttons. You can use these buttons on the computer, you can use them on the iPad. This is a little space bar. So there you go. You have everything you need. Alright, so if I wanted to solve this question, I'm going to solve two quick questions. I'm going to do a perimeter question, and I'm going to do an area question. So the perimeter of this thing is just going to be the distance around the outside. Okay, because it's a rectangle, the opposite sides are equal. So this is 27.7 hectometers. This is 29.5 hectometers, then 27.7, then 29.5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the 27.7 to the 29.5. So 27.7 to the 29.5. Okay, and then you press equals. And that's 57.2, but I haven't gone all the way around. I've only gone halfway. So I'm going to double that. So times 2. Equals, it's 114.4 hectometers. So I want to put a space. Now if I was using the iPad, I'd click the space bar, and then I'd click the H, the M, and then the enter button.
I said yeah. I said oh yeah.
So let's quickly go and have a look at the area. Okay, here we're being asked to find the area of a rectangle. So once again, I want to rotate that shape. Oh, by the way, there's also a little volume switch down here. On the iPad, it looks like it's a little toggle switch, but it's over on this side. And on the iPad, it can just turn on or off the volume. You can't really adjust the volume. But on the computer, if you're in a browser, you can just adjust this. It plays a little bit of a Joe Jackson song there. But if you can turn down the volume, but it doesn't change the volume of your computer. So if you're listening to music or whatever, you don't get deafened by these little celebration sounds. Okay, to find the area, I'm going to do base times height. So I'm just going to come back here. I'm just going to rotate that again. Not necessary, but I like to do that. And I'm going to do base times height, which is, the base is 12.6. So 12.6 times 26.9. Equals, so 338.94 kilometers squared. So on the iPad I'd press space, and then kilometers, and then squared. Okay, and then press the enter button, and that's it. Okay, so that's how the program works, and have fun. Have a good night.